Hey everybody, it's Trevor, and I'm back in the car. I haven't done a car video in a while, and usually this is where I tend to do my best ones. So this is a big update on my personal cancer journey, and I'm going to try to keep it concise, which is always difficult for me. And I do have chemo brain. It is a real thing, so pardon me if I'm not articulate, or as articulate as I usually think I am. So here's the news. I'm done with chemo. Hopefully forever. So to get you to where I'm at now, let me give you the 1-minute history of 2021. So I've been living with metastatic stage 4 colon cancer for almost 4 years. I was diagnosed in March 2018. And been through the whole ringer. So 2021, I started a clinical trial at Johns Hopkins because one of the tumors in my abdomen had grown pretty rapidly. And I tried this trial. It did not work. By the end of the trial, the tumor in my abdomen, the big one, was about 12 centimeters or bigger. So it was pretty large. So maybe like the size of like a grapefruit in there. And needed to do something to stop it. So went on, and a lot of you know I call that tumor my problem child. So then we decided, my doctors and I decided to go on kitchen sink chemo. So I did a really rough cocktail called FOLFOXIRI plus Avastin, and did that for 4 months, and it shrunk that problem tumor so much that I was eligible then to be a surgical candidate and to have surgery on my abdomen to remove that tumor and a couple other tumors in my abdomen. So did the chemo, and then on September 22nd, I had the major surgery, cytoreductive surgery at Mass General in Boston. And my surgeon was able to successfully remove, it was like kind of 3 tumors in my abdomen, one that was kind of in the surface of the liver, and also a couple chunks of my stomach where tumor was kind of pressing up against it, part of my spleen. So big abdominal surgery, but he got all of the visible cancer out. And then after that surgery, I followed up with 2 more rounds of chemo, call it mop-up chemo, just to hopefully attack any microscopic disease that might be still in my body. And then, you know, basically the message to me was, hey, try to get some mop-up chemo in, and then we're going to call it quits, and I'm going to be on surveillance. So we have reached that point where I'm done with chemo, and I've moved on to surveillance. So I'll have blood work every month, and my scans. So I'll have a CT scan of my abdomen and pelvic region in January. So really, for the first time in almost 4 years, I'm entering this phase of not being on treatment or going to a surgery. It's a lot. So part of me is so happy. I'm so freaking happy and so grateful. And especially grateful when I look around the colorectal cancer community, and I see so many people with their disease progressing, and so many of my friends dying and approaching death, that it's really hard. Sometimes it can be hard to share good news, positive news, big breakthroughs for us personally, because it's really hard when others are losing their lives. But as I've always said, and as I've learned, as I was taught through Colon Town and through other groups and friends with colorectal cancer, I was taught that celebrating our good news is so important. It gives hope to others, and it shows others that, you know, just gives them hope and inspiration to keep pressing, keep pushing, keep advocating for yourselves. Keep making that decision that you're worth it and your family's worth it, to push for the best care possible, and to just try to keep extending your life, and try to get meaningful quality of life. So I'm celebrating, absolutely. And then on the flip side of that, as any of you know watching who have been into survivorship of cancer, where you're not on active treatment, I'm already experiencing some jagged emotions and PTSD around when's that next shoe gonna drop. Is the cancer going to come back? Where's it going to come back? What are we going to do then? And I'm absolutely committed to pushing those worries forward and letting tomorrow's troubles come when they may and deal with them then, and to focus on the present of today of being cancer free technically for the first time. But it's hard. Absolutely have to acknowledge those scary feelings and unsettling feelings of entering a new phase in my life. And then there's also coming out, I feel like I'm just kind of coming out of this 7 months of a fog, really, and more before that. But these past 7 months being on the intense chemo and then the big surgery have been a real intense period of really being out of commission so much and just focusing on survival, just getting through that. Now that I'm feeling good, and I don't have to go back for more chemo, and I expect to feel good in the near term, hopefully for a long time, that I'm feeling, there's almost like a pressure to just like get back to normal life, start communicating with everyone, do everything I used to do. And it's hard to stop to acknowledge what I've just been through, and to acknowledge that I need a break and that I need rest and recovery and some healing. And it's hard to balance that with the feeling of wanting to do everything all at once after you get done with a period of treatment like this. So I'm trying to be gentle with myself, trying to follow the advice that I give others about being kind to myself and giving myself the space and time to slow down, take a break, prioritize time with family. So I am going to be pulling back a little bit from some of the Man Up to Cancer activities I've been doing, because especially for these next 6 weeks through Thanksgiving and Christmas and the New Year, I want to spend as much comfort and quality time with Sarah and Elsie and Sage as I can. And that's priority number one. And that is nothing can infringe on that. So, I put a lot of effort into the Man Up to Cancer movement and that call to action. For anyone who's just learning about it, we inspire men to avoid isolation when going through the cancer journey. And I'm going to keep doing that and putting myself out there in that way and being a leader for that community. But I'm not going to start the podcast back up, I hope, until the new year. I definitely plan on starting it back in the new year in January. And some of the other activities that I normally do with collaborations around Man Up to Cancer, I just need to take a time out on and really focus on family right now. So yeah, I just wanted to let people know my news and sort of what I want you to hold me to it.